Let's go from Japan to Bogota. Let's see how well you can live over there.
It is a Tuesday morning at 9 a.m. We're here in one of my favorite neighborhoods in Bogota, Colombia, and we're going to show you how to live like a king here. And today we're going to be showing you some of the best that Bogota has to offer. We're going on a luxury real estate tour. We're doing a suit fitting with my favorite tailor in the world, trying local Colombian liquors and regional wines, and having
Living the
dinner
high
at one of the
life.
sexiest places you've ever seen in South America. And most importantly, we're going to be showing you how Colombia is a place that you could actually live in and have a great everyday life that's not only affordable, but offers
really
a taste
can.
of some luxuries.
My last job, one of the name partners at the firm that I was working at, he had a second home that I think he inherited from his wife's family, and it was a farm in Colombia. A big, beautiful house, and yeah, they lived a good life. Still probably living a good life.
But first, so obviously one of the best things of Colombia is the coffee. I happen to not drink coffee, but if you come to
I mean, you are talking about the oh god.
Sahar, you have to get the coffee.
Sorry, everyone. Didn't mean to flashbang you that way. Yeah, I mean, we are talking about the land of Juan Valdez. So, I mean, you think of coffee, more than likely it's going to come from Colombia.
Coffee to take away. I think this Tinto Campesino, that's like the one. Have you tried that?
It's a black coffee with the spices, cinnamon with cloves and with vanilla.
Yeah, so there's two standards.
Cinnamon cloves and cane sugar mixed in with your coffee. I may need to try that.
Are superficial and aren't certainly determinate for a city. But I look at, is it a coffee or a tea culture? This is obviously very much a coffee culture, always has been. It wasn't a tea culture that became a coffee culture, like England or something. And is it a dog culture, a cat culture? Much more a dog culture. So in those two things, those two very superficial tests, Bogota does not necessarily hit the mark for me. So why
Read
did I
his
choose
book
Bogota?
chat, by the way.
I think it's one of those things that when you travel around and you go to a lot of places, and I haven't been to quite as much of South America as I would have been in Europe or in Asia, but you just get a feel. And so you go to Mexico City, which I love, but it just didn't work out. Panama City, a lot of people go to Panama City. Never really understood that. Buenos Aires just seemed...
Panama is, it's not a bad place to go to. If you like South Florida, cities like Miami, or, you know, Lauderdale or Daytona Beach, places like that. Maybe West Palm Beach, Boca Raton. You will get a lot of that vibe in Panama. It is a lovely country and really not a bad place to live. Good tax situation, whether you are, working class or if you are a high net worth individual, person of means. Just overall a lovely place to be. A place where I think you can still live quite comfortably on a pension, and also probably a good place to grow your wealth and pursue opportunity.
really far away. Santiago didn't really impress me. So just kind of by feeling. And I first came to Bogota almost 10 years ago. I just kind of liked it and just felt the vibe. I think that's how people should choose a city.
Absolutely.
But what made me want to invest here and focus here was Colombia had a program. If you have a property for a relatively nominal amount, you can get a permit.
Okay, you invest $117,100 in Colombian real estate, and then eventually, at some point, they give you a visa, like a long-term visa. Well, that's fantastic.
Permanent residence permit. You don't have to be here. For me, I think why Colombia beat out Mexico was, number one, it was more equidistant to other places where I wanted to explore and possibly do business in the future here in South America. And so I think you go where you're treated best. If you have two places that you really like and one doesn't have a clear path for immigration that's quite as easy, and one has a clear path where You just don't have to be there. I like that. I just think there's something about Colombia that it's not next door to the United States as Mexico is, obviously. Here, it's a bit more detached maybe from where I'm from, and that's kind of what I've been looking for.
Yeah.
Perfecto. I so rarely eat breakfast, but
God, that looks good. That looks really good. It looks fairly similar to something I had for breakfast, though presentation was not anywhere near as nice looking. But yeah, no, that's brilliant.
when I'm in Bogota, I have to come to Azahar. It's a nice place just to chill and enjoy the day. Live Like a King as Nomad Capitalist is
Hop in an
about
E-class.
authenticity. I want you to see that the places where I live and that I spend time have something to offer, whether it's a quiet luxuries in Bogota, all the way up to some of the more ostentatious places. But you can craft your own life in a nice neighborhood, going to nice cafes, having high-level friends, doing the stuff that you want. Bogota has become one of the most affordable large cities in the world for property again. I think you can definitely find some properties here for the lower $1,000 per meter range, which is incredibly cheap. Obviously, the Colombian peso is not the #1 currency that you'd like to be exposed to, but it's money that's out of a major currency like the US dollar. You have an asset, you have a place you can live, you're diversified. And I think a lot of people these days are concerned about asset protection from a number of angles, and lifestyle real estate is one thing that accomplishes that.
I mean, some people shit on the idea of diversification. They just, oh, well, it's just diversification. Yeah, but it's still it's still a good approach. I mean, don't put all your eggs in one basket. You know, have some contingency plans, have some backups, your plan Bs, your plan C, and everything else. There's this idea of, oh no, you need to just concentrate, put everything in one basket and keep everyone else from kicking over your basket. Well, I mean, how realistic is that? How realistic is it? You know, how much control do you actually have to keep other people and other forces from kicking over your basket? I mean, really, truly, can you stop that every time? No. I don't. Sometimes I think that's just the language of greed, of greedy people that are just trying to get more money out of you for something, whether it's a course or a program they're trying to teach, or you know, just, I don't know.
Danielle is one of the best renovation people I've worked with anywhere. Extraordinary attention to detail, and I'm very happy with him. We're going to go see Daniel's home and the home of one of his neighbors in a family neighborhood. So here's something where sometimes the locals and the nomad capitalists might see a little bit differently. I like to live a little bit closer to the action. A lot of locals here in Colombia like to live further north of the city because it's generally perceived as safer. There's nice schools. So this is kind of like a terraced home, what you might find in somewhere like the UK. So you have a home, multiple floors, inside a building for security. It's about $1,500 a square meter. He's up about 50% on the investment since he moved in. $1,500 for a square meter, $140 a square foot. Not bad for living in one of the nicer family neighborhoods.
I mean, I've heard of
Welcome, Andrew.
worse.
Gracias.
Please be my guest.
Zapatos?
Don't worry.
Off, no?
Don't worry.
So this is a nice, safe neighborhood?
This is
It's
not a
very
bad flat that
safe.
they're in.
It's very quiet. I have a lot of things near, nature and parks to make some sports like running, and a very important financial area and healthy area near from here.
How good is healthcare in Colombia? I've had some pretty good experiences with doctors for simple things.
Yeah, well, the health is in Colombia is very good. We have a lot of very good professionals.
I've heard the same thing,
Well, this
so
is my neighbor's house.
sort of confirm
in
that.
the renovation, he takes this wall. So this house have a lot of open space.
So this is the family neighborhood. This is where locals would live. This is the place that they want to live for peace and quiet. We're going to go back to where I like to be in the center of the city, look at some really nice, beautiful buildings. All right, so now we're back in more of the central area where I think a lot of nomad capitalists would like to live. You've got a beautiful creek running through here. You've got the Andino Mall just down the street. You've got embassies, ambassadors' residences. You can see some new buildings coming up, but so much of Bogota is brick, and you've got some of the older buildings, but you've got
Yeah, a
some of
lot
these
of brick.
beautiful newer buildings and some
That's,
really nice
you
pedestrian
normally would
walkways
think
around here.
that's,
So we're going to check it out.
you normally would think with all that brick, it would be more of like almost like a British thing or an American thing, or maybe even Canadian. I don't know. Not really used to seeing that much brick in a Latin American country. Yeah, sort of makes it look like you're not actually in Colombia. I don't know, but then again, you see a lot of that architecture, a lot of those boxy structures and whatnot, and it's a sort of developer chic type look and feel. It's like, where the hell are we? You can't really tell. It's starting to make a lot of major cities look like gigantic international airports. There's no distinctive flavor, you know? It's a bit sad, really.
And maybe even call people to see what it costs to live here. Look at this, like, I love the vistas here. If you get up in like El Refugio, I believe it's called, beautiful vistas. You can actually walk up the stairs to get up there. Do we see any signs? If you see any signs in the windows, can you let us know? This is a nice looking building.
It's all right. Nice fountains.
So this greater neighborhood is called Rosales. And for me, if you're gonna have a pied-à-terre at a place where you spend just a little bit of time, you wanna have a lock-and-go apartment. So we're gonna call this one right here and see what their deal is.
Sí, es un apartamento de
Smash Porjadeos, thank you for the follow. Thank you so much.
175 metros cuadrados. Es un dúplex de 3 habitaciones.
3-bedroom
de
duplex,
1.900
175 square
millones.
meters.
So we're seeing the difference.
$488,000 US. That's not much different than trying to buy a house in America. Though, in terms of space, you get a bit less in Colombia. But you'd be away from America, which, I mean, if that's what you're going for, and if you're already budgeted for a place in America, then, well, you know, there's the option. I don't know. I would prefer to live amongst the locals in one of those little flats away from the hustle and bustle, especially if it means I get some savings.
In price between something in a building that's a little bit older, something that's a little bit less descript, like where I live, where you're in for $1,500 a meter. Here you're at about $2,700 a meter. You've got a newer building, you've got a few more amenities, you've got bigger space. So it's about 175 meters. That's just under 2,000 square feet for about $460,000, $470,000. This is how I spend my Tuesdays. I just like to walk around and look at real estate for sale. So we've got another building here, almost $5,000 a meter, brand new, tons of amenities. So you're seeing the range, this kind of in between the two major streets, super quiet, super secure, more amenities. If you go kind of on one of the main streets, if you go a little bit further out, you can get down to that $1,500 a meter range. So to me, this is like the West Hollywood maybe of Bogota. This is a really great local area, and so still very affordable by international standards.
Bueno, bienvenidos.
So it's not the climatization. I just hate taking the lift. So I climbed up here to, what floor are we on? The 6th floor? So you've got 264 square meters of space. It's about 20 years old. So you can kind of see, you know, my building from the 80s, this building from the 2000s, some new buildings out here that are pretty brand new. What's the price here again?
3,850.
Good God, they want nearly $1 million for this.
This is the dining room.
Sina, this needs to go, I think. Can this go?
Sí, this is drywall.
Drywall? I would open this up. Para maid.
Sí, este es el cuarto de servicio
Cuatro servicio.
con el baño. Tiene todo el
No, I guess when you make as much money as Andrew
por
Henderson,
toda la casa. Está ahí.
I love
This is
this.
probably
Like, I
nothing
love
to
this
you.
this vista. Wow.
that is a beautiful view.
You can Get like, you gotta get a rainforest shower. You can get 2 people in this shower.
Tiene el walk-in closet.
I mean, yeah, could you wall this off or
Nice
something and make it an
closet.
office?
Este, si no estoy mal, en otros apartamentos es otro cuarto.
Yeah. It's not huge, but you could put a desk and just kind of. I think this is perfect. This is such a nice space to have like a separate sitting area maybe. Or like this could be your TV area over here, and then this is your sitting area. I wish there was like a 3rd bedroom. I think that'd be nice. So we're here in Park 93. This is in the Chico neighborhood. So this is a little bit north of where we just were. We're going to go in and get a suit tailored to my favorite tailor anywhere in the world. But here you've got a lot of restaurants. You've got everything from
Top and
Starbucks
barbecue
to Juan
garden, a
Valdez
buffalo
Cafe.
wings
It's more
place.
local. You've got amazing international cuisine all right here in this park. And there's a lot of nightlife. So this is a great hot spot, and people love to gather right here in Park 93. Let's go.
Hey,
There we are.
Andrew.
Hola, senor. How are you?
See you. Welcome back.
Good. Thank you very much. So we're here in
Martello's
Simone's tailoring shop, Martello Tailors, where all the magic happens. Bogota y Nueva York.
Yes, Bogota and New York now. All right, so we're gonna see just how different ways to wear
Lovely.
shirt collar. We like to make shirt collars really soft because some people like to wear their collars sort of messy. They do what's called like sprezzatura, and it's just like the collar. You let it just have like a nice roll over here. Let's just point outwards. That's a possibility.
You're very influenced by Milanese fashion. That's your jam.
Well, that's where I first studied, and they are very elegant, and they do have a lot of sense of character when it comes to clothes. It's not just about elegance.
A lot of
like in
Italian
England.
influence with this
It's very
one.
beautiful, very elegant, very put together. My influence was a little bit more Milan. That's where I finished falling in love with tailoring.
So, where do you want this jacket to? Where do you want me to start with the jacket? You want to come in front of the mirror?
Yeah, we can do a mirror.
All right.
So we're gonna wear the new jacket that we made for you because you came in wearing a suit from someone else.
I've been cheating on you apparently.
Yeah.
It-
apparently. And then just get this.
What's your opinion? How do you know when you do? Because last night you came with the Simon Cowell, Tom Ford, first 4 buttons unbuttoned.
Uh-huh.
You got to be a little darker for that, I think.
Yeah. The thing is, I usually
You're too pale for that.
I usually do that because I'm very Latino when I don't wear a tie, and I just go like 3 buttons, not 4. 4 buttons I can get away with when I'm in Cartagena, but like yeah, I do usually like 3 buttons when I'm here in Bogota. Sometimes
I
I have
could
a
ever get
scarf,
away with that.
So it's just like that covers.
One
it.
at
People don't
the
realize
top
this is a
button and then
formal
one
city.
more button, and
This is a very
but
formal
even
city.
that's pushing
Yeah, we were
it.
discussing that a little earlier. Just people don't know. People think Colombia and they're thinking like Cartagena, and like since the equator they think it's all the same, but we're up in the mountains. This is just way closer to London than anything else.
It looks like London vibes. It's kind of the same
Yeah.
equatorial position, I think, is
No,
Kuala
now that he
Lumpur, but
mentions it,
very
he's
different
right.
vibes, because
I think
you're
so.
2,600 meters up.
And that's why the ingredients are so similar than Southeast Asia, for example.
There's a little give in this, no?
I mean, that's exactly what I want you to wear, because it's comfortable. So I want you to be able to like
Yeah,
sit on a
you'd-
plane with this and be,
Yeah, you need to have some give. This idea of slim fit everything, that's just not all body types fit that. Even the slim chaps like Andrew here, I would say still go with a classic fit. You know, give yourself some breathing room, man. You know, be comfy. You not only want to look good, but it needs to be practical. You want to look good, you want to feel good.
be able to travel with this, put stuff on your pocket with it, because you don't
Yeah.
need more shape. You can look at it and you see that it has all the shape that it needs. So I don't need it to be more tapered than that. But you can cross your arms, you can be comfortable, you can sit
Yes.
down and eat at a restaurant. No need to take out off your jacket. That's sort of what we're going for.
So, live like a king in Bogota. You're going out with your chica. What's the vibe?
The scene here is a lot of going out to dinner, and unfortunately, we're not quite there with the bars yet.
The wine store
The
is
wine store
that's
has
my
been-
jam.
Yeah, and that one's been there for a long time.
I
So
mean, if you don't have the bars, I mean, yeah, I can understand. Every place probably needs a good pub. But, I mean, a town full of wine bars, is that really such a bad thing? I mean, is it really? No, I ask you, I don't think it's a bad thing. I think a town full of almost nothing but classy joints, classy places to go grab a bottle of wine. Same idea with maybe a pub, place where you can grab a beer, quiet, relaxing environment. That, yeah, not a bad thing at all.
We're gonna go there. Stay tuned. All right, we're here at the wine store. It's right across from this lovely park. This is where I
Oh.
love to come. They've got a great selection of regional wines. I love Argentina wines. They have great
Argentinian
Colombian
wine is
liquors.
very good.
They tell me they even have some local Colombian wine, so we're going to check it out. They've got the full luxury wine experience inside.
I believe
Yeah,
I have had a
like to go into
chance to
local stuff.
sample Colombian wine, and yes, it is very good.
But I'm really interested in the Colombian liqueurs. I know there's some rums,
Yeah.
and you said there's something
Hell
else
yeah.
that's very unique.
Yeah, we have a.
Oh, even imported some bottles
It's
of Glen
made from
Levay.
cocoa.
And so this
So
is
here
oh,
we
liqueur
have.
de café.
It's from
A
from
coffee liqueur.
If I don't drink
Caramba.
coffee, would I like this?
Yes, I think it's on the sweeter side.
Mm.
So into the mouth, it's really easygoing. You would not feel that amount of coffee if you
That's
don't
what I'm trying
enjoy
to tell
coffee.
people all
Yeah.
the time. We were just talking about how the next thing that Bogota needs, perhaps more, is more cocktail bars. Like, there's not so many wine bars, for example.
Oh, actually no. And we have a wine bar, and here you can enjoy a wide selection by the glass. And also one thing that it's really important that we do here
That is
you can
terribly
choose any bottle
convenient,
from the
really.
store.
A wine shop and liquor store with its own wine bar and restaurant. I mean, have yourself a lovely dinner, some glasses of wine, and then do a bit of shopping there. You know, pick yourself up a nice bottle of Colombian wine. Maybe get one of those bottles of scotch there, and take that home at the end of the evening, and crack open the bottle of wine with your chica, with your beloved, as you sort of toast the evening together with each other. Yes, that's brilliant. I love that. We need more places like that.
And you can enjoy it here
Oh,
without having any corkage fee or hidden costs. So
yeah, okay.
the price that it's here, it's the price that you will enjoy at the table.
And you can hang out in the wine cave.
Yeah, of course. So here we will have the best selection
Oh.
from
Remy
all
Martin
the countries
cognac.
that we have outside. So, for example, we have Mouton Rothschild,
That's a-
we have Palmer, we have La Fleur Petrus. On the
Chateau
premium
Mouton
side, we start
Rothschild.
with 2001 up to 2017.
And so also,
Premium with
any
spirits.
alcohol. So this is, wow, Macallan 25. How much would this cost me?
It would be around 16 million.
16 million pesos. That's
Yeah.
$4,000.
Yeah.
Jesus. Then again, that's about right. Yeah, $4,000 for 25-year-old Macallan. Jax, welcome in. Hello, here to say Rex is one handsome man. I hope you're having an amazing stream. Well, thank you, Jax. Thank you. Yes, we are having an amazing stream. We are here in Colombia, Bogota, Colombia, and just doing a bit of wine shopping, and we stumbled upon this 25-year-old bottle of Macallan that these people are asking for nearly $4,000 for that one bottle. But I mean, it's aged 25 years. It takes a while for that stuff to get ready, you know. Still, glass of 25-year-old Macallan, either neat or on the rocks. Yeah, I'd go for that.
Wow. And so do you see a growing number of consumers in Colombia in the upper middle class and in the upper class who want to consume wine? Is that a growing segment?
It is. It's a growing segment, especially because nowadays Colombian people are able to travel everywhere. People go and study, they
Yes.
all go out and work, and of course they learn about wines.
Colombia is not the same as it was 30 or 40 years ago, chat. I mean, we see this now with that sort of London vibe in Bogota with the new construction, even some of the 20-year-old structures, and a fancy wine shop with a gourmet restaurant built in. Amazing what happens when people finally stop killing each other over drugs and start getting to work to build their economy. Turns out they actually have built up a hell of a country, and Bogota has just sort of become this garden paradise We'll be cutting in and out since work Wi-Fi is booty. Understandable. Understandable. Perfectly fine. But do appreciate you dropping in, Jax. Thank you.
So they want to experience have the same experiences here in Colombia.
I remember when I first came here almost a decade ago, the passport was just getting visa-free access to Europe, the Schengen area, and then within the last year, got visa-free access to the UK. And so it's a pretty good passport
Nice.
now.
It is.
A Colombian passport, you can travel pretty much everywhere, and I think people are doing that more.
A lot of investors are coming to Colombia, and they decide to stay here and to live
That's
here,
true.
which is great. And they are looking.
You're seeing a lot of people from Spain and I think even Portugal expatriating over to Colombia. I mean, people with Spain, from Spain, they already know the language. It's just a different dialect, and they're having a good go of things in Colombia. So yeah, no, this is brilliant.
Looking for this type of products and experiences that now they don't have to travel and bring their wines or their spirits. They can find them here, and they can have the same type of experience of having sommelier educated and big chefs and so on. So I believe it's a big opportunity to attract people from overseas here to Colombia.
What's your message to someone who, let's say, lives in the United States, and they think moving to Colombia, that's not safe, or I'm not going to have the services that I want? What do you tell that person?
I think we have friends, actually, many friends that have decided to buy an apartment here, live here part of the year, come and enjoy what Bogota and what Colombia has to offer. As Luis was saying, the gastronomy, for us, the wine, they can enjoy a lot of stuff here in Colombia.
And you can have many things that you cannot have in the States. Services, for example, you can have a driver, you can have, people doing your nails at home. I mean, a lot of things that are extremely expensive and difficult to find in another place.
So what's this?
So here we have Mirat, the bodega. This wine is Tinar de Mirat. Here we have a 2004 from Ribera del Duero.
I think you just
20-year-old bottle of wine.
Okay.
As Andrea said, this is a 20-year-old wine that is just perfect to be drunk right now. And just being able to have the experience here in Colombia to enjoy an old wine, which is great. So
to
cheers.
Colombia.
Yeah, to Colombia.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Amazing mouthfeel, though. Wow. That hits you. Excellent.
Good body.
Well, thank you for sharing it with us. I appreciate it. This is one of the most beautiful restaurant buildings in Bogota and really anywhere. It used to be called Cool Colombia.
Oh, that's
now it's called
gorgeous.
Elegante. And just look at this. I mean, it's a stunning ivy-covered building. They don't build them like this anymore.
No, they
And
really
it's
don't.
even more
It's
stunning
sad that they
inside.
don't.
So we're going to have a little business cocktail and business dinner to end off this day in Bogota.
Oh, brilliant. Quite
So the
chic.
legend goes
Quite stylish.
that I believe the last business was paying $30,000 a month. I was here in November 2019
Good
when I
God.
bought my home, and it was a great place. But then the pandemic happened, and they couldn't pay, and so they got kicked out. But I'm really glad that this restaurant has come back to life in this beautiful building. Imagine like a Sunday brunch out here, sitting, the cityscape, you're in your own urban oasis.
All those speakers, I do hope it's not terribly loud.
Buenas tardes, stranger.
Hello, Harry.
Good to see you. See, cocktails?
Okay.
What do you want? You want an old fashioned? What do you want?
One cocktail. Whiskey sour, maybe?
Whiskey sour? Tell you what, how about a pisco sour?
Pisco sour?
Get a pisco sour.
Do your stuff, man. Look at that. All in the wrist. Brilliant. Absolute magician.
Bienvenidos a Colombia.
Cheers.
So, what are your initial thoughts, livability,
That does look
vibe,
good.
coming from a Western country?
I think like the initial thoughts were it looked very different to what I was expecting. It's a very beautiful city, but it seems like a town at times. You know, like there's very very elegant trees and it almost arches the roadways. Very British looking brick buildings, like very Tudor-esque, like old pubs with the white and black kind of fairing. And obviously then we spoke to some people the other day and we were talking about like the elevation versus how close it is to the equator. So you have this very beautiful temperature where it's like not hot, not cold at any time.
As an obvious Irishman, he probably he probably bristles a bit at that British vibe. I'm just saying. No, probably not.
You can wear a suit all the time. You're never too hot though.
Yep.
You know, there's always a bit of a breeze. It's never a cold breeze, and it kind of stays like that all day, even into the evening. You know, it never really seems to get cold here, but it's never too hot either. But you do have that beautiful sun.
So we're here with the
Almost
chef
like a land of perpetual
Elegante.
spring.
And
Oh,
I've
you're
done
used
this
to that.
restaurant for many years when it was called something else. Now you're back as Elegante in this beautiful building. Talk about the history and talk about what you're trying to accomplish here.
Arrogante empieza sus inicios en Madrid. Allí nos enfocamos en una cocina italiana totalmente atípica. La traemos con el concepto acá a Bogotá,
Oh, it was
Colombia,
in Madrid.
acostumbrándonos también a las costumbres de Latinoamérica.
Yeah, see, this is what I was talking about, chat. You've got a lot of people coming over from Spain and trying their fortunes over here in Colombia and especially in Bogota, and they're having a good go of it. Which good on them. Good on them. I mean, the Spanish business climate, like most of Europe, it's not really the best. But then they come over here and they actually have some freedom, some flexibility, and taxation's not too terrible either. So they actually turn a good profit at every year.
Somos primeros pioneros en escoger nuestras verduras, nuestros cárnicos. Nos enfocamos mucho en el tema de los risotos y las pastas.
What do you see as
that looks
classical
delicious.
Colombian cuisine? And how do you see as the country is evolving and becoming more successful, what is Colombian cuisine becoming?
Nuestra gastronomía colombiana siempre ha sido de muy buen criterio. Nos hemos enfocado en productos locales y se
Oh,
lleva el
good.
mejor estándar.
Yeah.
Lo que se le puede decir acá
Start with
criollo.
local
Pero nosotros
ingredients.
en realidad nos basamos en una cocina italiana totalmente atípica, acostumbrando los sabores italianos a los comensales que son nuestros colombianos. De entrada tenemos unas láminas de carpaccio de lomo fino
Lomo fino
con una mayonesa de
carpaccio,
hongos.
the
Lo
mushroom
acompañamos con
mayo,
sal y pimienta, unos brotes de
salt, pepper
microrúgula
garnish,
y un
micro-arugula,
cítrico que es el limón mandarín.
mandarin and
Mr.
orange
Chef,
citrus.
thank you.
Muchas gracias.
That sounds
Did you see that
delicious.
the Nomad Capitalist Live waiting list is up to 22,000?
Ooh.
I'm a little, my problem is I always, when things go too well, I get a little worried. Because last year it was like much, much less. There was not nearly as much effort. This year it's like all systems go. And I'm curious to see how that converts.
Yeah, I think your percentage is obviously going to be lower, but we were way more organized. You know, we were organized far ahead of time. We were a lot ahead of the game in terms of the mediums that we publicize on. We did more interviews. We also are returning to Malaysia, and we've already set the standard there, and it's a very, very high standard, so we get
You
word
think
of
it's
mouth.
good to go back a second time? Sorry to interrupt you.
I think it's perfect to go back a second time. I think one of the most important things about events for us, and you and I have spoke about this at length, is that we want to go and show people what we believe in and where we believe in and what a beautiful place it is and all the opportunities there.
I've always thought that that's what, we have a lot of connections, and maybe this is just my personality, like it's never enough. But I kind of feel like we should know even more people everywhere. Like we should know, oh, you wanna buy a car in Tajikistan? Oh, you got to talk to Crazy Eddie. He's your man in Dushanbe.
And I think the thing is, you feel like we have a lot of connections, and we do, but we're a very global company. And we look at hundreds of countries. So for us, we need multiple connections per city, per country.
Oh, look at this. Oh, beautiful. I love this.
Oh, that looks delicious. Prawn ravioli with sage-infused butter,
So we spent a day
micro
living
basil
like
leaves.
a king here in one of my homes in Bogota.
Very European portions,
we
though.
met my favorite tailor in the world and talked about getting a suit. We saw real estate and the opportunities there and what it costs to live in some of the best neighborhoods here in Colombia. We heard about all the opportunities and how the Colombian passport is getting better, how there's so many creature comforts from French wines to anything else you want that's here. And what's been really beautiful for me to watch and why I'm here is I like to watch this continent's growth unfold. I like to see the new startups that you might hear about from the U.S. stock market that are having a big impact here. there's a lot of development happening. And like any place, it has its challenges. But I truly believe you can spend part of your time here in Bogota and truly live like a king. To Colombia.
I'd have to agree.
Mi amor. I mean Colombia, not Garod.
That is some good living there in Bogota. Yeah, I wouldn't mind having what he called a pied-à-terre in Colombia. That's brilliant. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Subscribe to the channel and click the bell icon so you never miss an update. If you have any thoughts, questions, or ideas for future videos, drop them in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. You can also follow me on Twitter @LordRexworth for more updates and behind-the-scenes content. And if you want to support the channel, check out my Coffee or Throne pages. Links are in the description. Finally, be sure to visit LordRexworth.com and follow me across all platforms. That's LordRexworth.com. Until next time, I wish you all the best, and God bless.